Question number 5, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he stand by his statements regarding Solid Energy and the Future Investment Fund, quote, well, again, I think he's saying that technically it was in the rules, it might be possible. I haven't actually seen, can't recall either seeing indistinct, and mark those things that are in the budget is an allocation process, unquote, and, quote, if Bill's saying it's there might be a indistinct allocation, unquote.
Right
Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, for the benefit of members, ministers have agreed to a facility of up to $100 million to provide liquidity support for Solid Energy if it's needed, and so far it hasn't been. We'll wait till we get to the end of the answer. Secondly, the facility cannot be used as a capital injection, so it's not about bailing out Solid Energy, as Mr Cosgrove claims. A range of options for this facility was put to ministers, but the only one they have considered is a secured loan, repayable in the short term. Officials advise a secure loan would not be a charge against the Future Investment Fund.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Despite that answer, could the Minister, given he stands by that statement, explain to the House exactly what he meant by that statement?
Yep.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, because the member's a bit slow, I'll do it for him.
Order.
Order.
Order. It is a point. Order. A point of order has been raised by the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I think you indicated either last week or the week before you were going to tighten up on ministers to get them, when they are asked relatively non-political questions, not to abuse members. Sir, I think that's just been breached, and sir, I'd note there's now been 5 interjections since I restarted the point of order.
I appreciate the point the member is making. I don't think he can satisfactorily argue to my satisfaction that it was a non-political question.
Right.
Having said that, it would be helpful if the Prime Minister would simply address the question without equally implying adding politics at the start. The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Sir, your ruling is interesting in that the Prime Minister and your office accepted the primary question. My supplementary could not have been ruled political. It simply asked him to explain what he meant. Could you point to me what's political about that?
Order. Would the member please resume his seat? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, ministers were asked to consider a facility that could be used for Solid Energy to pay for wages and things in the short term if the company actually went broke and couldn't achieve that. That was actually something I remember the minister or the member actually running around saying exactly that. Well, I'm not going to bother even answering. You're going to carry on with that.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question.
Point of order.
Point of order, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
I just wanted to inquire, had the Prime Minister finished his answer?
Order. He decided not to because of the interjections that were coming from the member. If the member wants to consider raising points of order which I don't consider are appropriate or relevant, then he won't get the ability to ask further supplementaries. Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Sorry?
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his statement this morning on First Line regarding loans to Solid Energy that Bill English could, quote, if he wanted to do it unsecured, he could do that as well, unquote? If so, does he also stand by his statement yesterday at his post-Cabinet press conference that, quote, we would never ever consider giving Solid Energy an unsecured loan? Which is it?
Yes.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Order.
To the Prime Minister.
Supplementary question, Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Prime Minister. Why did he say yesterday morning on News Talk ZB that asset sales money was not going to be used to support Solid Energy and that I was making it up? Then 10 minutes later on Radio Live, he said that there might be an allocation of $100 million for Solid Energy, when an hour beforehand, on yet another radio station, Bill English confirmed that asset sales money has been appropriated for solid energy recovery facilities, saying, quote, "The government decides what the Future Investments Fund is spent on."
Order. Order.
Because in answer to the first part of the question, it's true, we're not putting money out of the Future Investment Fund into solid energy, and B, the member was making it up.
Supplementary question.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. I seek leave to table the Cabinet and Treasury documents that show that Cabinet, signed off by the Cabinet and the Prime Minister, has set aside $100 million from the Future Investment Fund for so-called, quote, solid energy recovery facilities, unquote.
Order. Leave us sought to table those documents. Is there any objection? Yes, there is. There is objection.
Supplementary, Mr
Supplementary
Speaker.
question, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Is he aware that his Cabinet has approved $10 million of spending from the Future Investment Fund on the National War Memorial? And if he can recall that, how is it plausible that he can remember a $10 million spending item approved by the Cabinet that he chairs, but he can't recall a $100 million item derived from the same source, the Future Investment Fund, and noted in his own Cabinet documents that he signed off on?
Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in answer to the first part of the question, yes. In answer to the second part of the question, the member's just plain wrong. What the Cabinet has done is established an authority to allow the government to lend money if it wants to. Well, to allow it to lend money if it wants to. If it was done on a secured basis, it would not come out of the Future Investment Fund. The only way the government would lend money to solid energy would be on a secured basis, but because the accountants are truly conservative and because we gave ourselves the range of options, that was the way they accounted for it. No $100 million has been there. But what is interesting actually now is Clayton Cosgrove is telling the people...
Speaker,
point of order.
You may anticipate my point of order.
I
He had a
could not
lengthy...
possibly anticipate.
Oh, okay. I'm very happy to enlighten you, sir. Very happy to enlighten you, sir. The Prime Minister gave a lengthy answer, and now he proceeded, it was starting to attack me. He's given a lengthy answer, and you don't pull him up.
Order. Order. I don't think that was a significant enough attack to worry the member. He's bigger than that. Question.
Speaker. Not as big as you, Jerry.
Order. Order. A point of order.
Not as big as you, Jerry.
Order. A point of order has been called, and it will on this occasion be heard in silence. Order.
Well, a serious point of order, sir. Is it then your ruling, sir, that a member needs to be subjected to the attack before you will then pull the minister up?
Order. No, that's not my ruling. Question number 6, Kanwal Singh Bakshi.
Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Man up to the 6th chamber.
Order.
Mr. Speaker.
Order. Would members on all sides of the House settle down so we can hear from Kanwal Singh Bakshi? Question number 6.
Man up.